All right, everyone. Better skills, better jobs, better wages. A new DNC slogan as vacuous as it is impossible to achieve with neoliberal policies. The new DNC slogan, when I first saw it, and I saw people comparing it to the Papa John's slogan, and then noting that actually skills, jobs, wages, what does it spell out as an acronym? SJW, Social Justice Warriors. And when I first saw that, I was bent over laughing. You have to be insane to think that this is a good strategy to market your corporate political front, which is what the DNC is. You're led by people who are massively rich, very old, kind of out of touch at this point. People like Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Tom Perez. These are like the heavy hitters of your party. And you've got to own that at some point. You've got to own up to the fact that you don't really have much new blood in the Democratic Party. The Republicans do a whole shit ton of new wave Republicans entered over the course of the last few cycles because they kept winning in the House and the Senate. And a bunch of new individuals came in, people they tend to be a bit younger. Some of them have ideas that go outside of neoconservatism. And sometimes it's spotty, like they have one or two good ideas and otherwise they're shit. And then you have like the Rand Pauls or something like that generally have good ideas. Unfortunately, the latter's a little bit less common than the former. It takes time for the paradigm shift to go into full effect. And honestly, all of the old incumbent Republicans, it would be nice if they all got primaried against new opponents and half of them got forced out of office. It'd be the best thing for the Republican Party. The Democrats would probably come out and say, oh, well, they're in chaos. They're facing dissent within their own ranks. Yeah, because they're moving away from neoconservatism because it doesn't work for them and it doesn't work for the country. Like trying to market Bush-style policies at this point is beating a dead horse. It's really, really dead. You can't even really, it's just a pile of crushed, charred bones at this point. The Democrats think it's a good idea to continue this general idea with neoliberalism, which is the same thing. It's not lost on people when Herbert Walker's hanging out with the Clintons during the election and Jeb's refusing to endorse the Republican candidate, says nice things about Hillary Clinton, and then you've got some Democrats who are like, oh, well, if only Jeb was the candidate, if only it was Cruz, Trump is the worst, something like that. And their slogan reflects the stupidity, the abject nature of the Democratic Party. They're too old. They have no good ideas. They don't have any new blood in the party. They've got no platform. Look at the slogan here and see what it entails. They've been harping on this basic line for a long time. They're focusing on jobs and things like that. You're not creating any. Obama had plenty of time to create to repair the economy, which did go under towards the end of the Bush administration. See, here's the problem. Jobs were created, but they were low-wage jobs generally. Trump is shifting strategies, and I think you're going to start seeing some good middle and even upper-class jobs come back, but it's going to be a long time coming. Anyone claiming the economic genius of Trump because jobs continue to come in needs to understand that it's still primarily at this point, right now, it's still low-wage jobs. You're seeing the creation of a lot of working class and impoverished class temporary and part-time positions. That's what you're seeing right now. Consumer confidence helps. Trump's restructuring of taxes, if he gets that passed, will help a lot, but it'll still be on a delay. It'll take several years before we start seeing the true job creation come back to the United States and growth really pick up. I can't even give credit to Trump right now for the jobs reports. Just like I couldn't give credit to Obama throughout his presidency. We went from hemorrhaging jobs to creating jobs, but it didn't keep up with population growth. No Democrat ever mentioned this because they weren't being honest. And most of them were low-wage or temporary positions, part-time positions, things that people can't get ahead on. They can't even make a living on without subsidies. It helps. It's better if that person's working part-time and getting less subsidy than if they're totally unemployed. But it's not a huge help. It's not going to support a strong economy. And the Trump numbers have continued this. It's getting better, but not completely. It's going to take time. I'm optimistic that he can get that accomplished if he can get the Republicans to stop dragging their heels on tax reform. But until that happens, yeah, there's really nothing to give him credit for. Yeah, it's a victory for him, but the other Republicans stop him from solving the problem. So what's the fucking point? It still means continued unemployment. Continued underemployment is even greater. And an economy that overall is anemic. That's the economy Trump inherited. Now we see whether he keeps that going, which would be a huge problem, or if he turns that around and we start doing better. But the DNC, meanwhile, wants you to believe, oh, we're going to give people skills and higher wages and there will be better jobs available. Now, how are you going to accomplish that? More regulation? You can fix the wage problem, so-called, by upping the minimum wage to $15 an hour. That just means that people that are already making $16 or $17 an hour and they're doing kind of okay, that just means that they become the new impoverished class. Sucks to be them. If you're voting for the Democratic Party and you're somewhere in the mid-tier of the working class, like the $15 to $20 an hour kind of semi-skilled labor class, to the lower middle class, like maybe you're an LNA or something like that, or a substitute teacher, librarian, you maybe made $25, $30K in salary or something. If you're anywhere within that class of people, the idea of raising the minimum wage to $15 fucking an hour should terrify you. Because guess what that makes you? It makes you a very, very low wage, basically minimum wage worker. And it's going to cause the cost of goods to skyrocket, which means you'll no longer be getting ahead a little bit. You won't even be making ends meet. Welcome to going on welfare, essentially. It'd fuck the economy. It will. It will destroy the U.S. economy if we do that. We should be trying to deregulate things to bring costs down so that people that are making lower wages can at least buy the rudiments of life. If you have to throw subsidies their way in the meantime, who cares? I'm not even, like the food stamps program stuff. It's a good program. It helps people to fucking eat. I think they need to tinker with it a little bit, but it's a good idea, at the very least. Having unemployment for people who were employed, their job dried up because of the government. Yeah, the government needs to be responsible for that. Too bad other taxpayers have to pay for it, and we can't just take money from the corporations that helped cause the problem by their collusion with the U.S. neoliberals and neocons in the first place. But when your slogan spells out the acronym SJW and is compared to Papa John's, is that really a winning strategy for the midterms, or do you think it's going to fall flat? The Republicans have Make America Great Again, just as vacuous a statement as what the DNC now is using as its primary slogan. As we slowly move along to next year, and when that happens, we begin talking about the midterms. Not that far away. We're in perpetual election mode these days within the United States, which is really good for the legacy media and really, really bad for our economic and political situation. Because people don't feel they're responsible for actually getting anything accomplished. Look, who has? For the first couple years of Obama, he could get anything accomplished he wanted. He chose to just sit there and fuck off and waited until he lost control of the House to bother to try to do anything. Nothing got accomplished other than Obamacare, which isn't an accomplishment anyway. It's a big problem in the country. And it has continued. The Republican Party is more obstructionist, actually. Like, you've got the Democrats, they have shitty ideas that they want to force through. They don't even realize that they don't control the House or Senate. They don't even realize that they lost the election. They're that dumb. But they keep trying to ram bad ideas down everyone's throats. Meanwhile, the Republicans don't have any ideas, and they just sit there and they got so used to obstructing the executive branch that they forgot they won the election and they're still obstructing. They're obstructing Trump now, somebody from their own fucking party. That's how dumb they are. Yeah, who are the adults on Capitol Hill at this point? Who in D.C. has a working brain? I'm struggling to find enough people on a list like that I run out of fingers. I can count them on my fingers how many people have some common sense. Trump, I think, has some. Rand has common sense, maybe Amash, although he's done some off-the-wall shit lately. Who else is in an elected capacity who does, though? You get Jesse Ventura up there, he'd be more sane than 90% of them. And Jesse Ventura's gone nuts in the last few years. He'd still be more sense. Get Alex Jones to run for office. He'd make more sense than a lot of the people in the House and the Senate. And that's sad. He could sit there and offer up, as his first bill, he sits there and he says, okay, this is the Outlawing Chemtrails Act. And when it's pointed out, what are you talking about? Oh, well, it's a huge problem. It's causing our pineal glands to shut down. That would make more sense than some of the stuff that the Democratic Party has offered up lately. Honestly, it would make a lot more sense. To the fact that Kid Rock is running for the Senate, supposedly has some significant support, and seems sane by comparison with some of these people. Don't you think we've got a problem? Mark Zuckerberg, The Rock, Kid Rock, anybody else, Jesse Ventura. All these people, you got the entire celebrity class is trying now to take over Washington, D.C. And it could be argued that things would work better if they did. That's how bad the situation has gotten with the assorted slimy corporate lawyers and slimy business owners and slimy carpetbag career politicians have really gotten in Washington, D.C. They have totally fled the battlefield when it comes to trying to have any form of intellectual debate. What have they accomplished lately? Their new act, that S720 or whatever it is, which violates the Constitution on every possible level. The Israeli Boycott Act, that's their big legislation for this incarnation of the House and Senate. And it's got bipartisan support. Oh, fuck the First Amendment. Yeah, companies in the U.S., if they take part in any boycott of this one specific country, then we'll fine them, throw their CEO in jail. And private citizens that give ideological weight to it or donate to some group, we're going to put them in jail too. Yeah, that's not a violation of the First Amendment at all. It's because the divestment movement has grown larger in size, and the politicians are pissed off about it. It means they have to throw more tax money at Israel to make up the difference. It's not like it's going to destroy their economy. Everybody could boycott and divest and it wouldn't make a difference. They'd just keep giving them grants. So sorry, but the boycott movement isn't going to have any effect anyway. It's just it's public relations. They're trying to silence their opponents. But the DNC, I mean, they're out to lunch. Tom Perez doesn't really know how to handle a political party, apparently. They might even be better off if they did, put Pelosi in charge. Not just of the entire DNC apparatus. She'd probably do better than Tom Perez. When Tom Perez first got in there, people began to notice that there were a bunch of scandals involving him, and that this mild-mannered looking man was anything but and was actually a total career backstabber. Yeah, I wonder why the DNC is being run poorly. I wonder, the Democratic Party raises massive sums, throws them at these special elections. And at last count, didn't they lose 4 or 5? Didn't they get plowed under? They were saying, oh, we got so close. Haha, it shows that Trump has slumped since the election. Yeah, but you still didn't win. It's the final result, and whether you won or lost is really what's important. The margin's not important. Trump wins states in the Rust Belt by less than 1% or 1.5%. It doesn't matter that it was a small margin of victory. It really doesn't matter. He still wins. He gets all the electors from those states. So what are you talking about? That's not the way to run a political party. The DNC is being run so poorly that I find it difficult to envision a situation in which they carry the midterms. Like the Senate, it's like a totally lost idea for them at this point, just looking at the races that are up. In the House, they keep talking about, oh, we're more optimistic about the House. We think that we can take back... You're not going to take back the House. It's not going to happen. Salon even predicted months ago there would be no blue wave. Even Salon has the right... When Salon starts making sense, you know there's a problem with your political movement. Because usually they tell you that you're great and you can do no wrong, and Trump is Hitler and the Republicans are all Satan, and the Democrats are like the divine party sent by Jesus Christ himself with the blessing of the glorious idiot pontiff or something like that, and they're still telling you you're going to lose. Yeah, and as far as the governor's seats, you lose a couple more state legislatures, the Republicans could start trying to use constitutional amendments to shut you up. You wouldn't even exist as a party without you'd have to form a revolutionary front, try to fight a civil war, and you're all disarmed. So what's the point? That's about all. Peace out.